Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Friday show. It is Go F.O.C. Yourself, and where we tell you all of the cool and awesome things that are on Final Order Cutoff this week. Now, for those of you who don't know, Final Order Cutoff is the last day that we can order products and guarantee that you get them. The actual deadlines are usually later than the deadlines that we provide. That's so that we have time to process them, get them all laid out, and make sure that the orders are good instead of scrambling at the last second. Because you never know. You need that little bit of extra time to make sure that nothing gets missed. So we are going to head right into it this week. I've been up for a while. I haven't. Last night, I was writing a piece on Bad Idea. Bad Idea has a new comic coming out. They've got new stuff coming out on Wednesday, and they've got a surprise coming out shortly after that in May that we talk about. That's going to cause us a little bit of stress. And so I was writing an article about that until about 4 a.m. Finally got to sleep at about 4:30. Woke up, started this day. So this one's going to be verse sleepy. But if you want to check out that article, go over to comicsbeat.com, where we have all of that good content for you. You'll see it. It's called The Retailer's View. And I wrote it with, as always, the help and talking things out with Danica and her edits. So, but otherwise, let's get to this good contents. Let's get to the window. All the way up top, all the way to image. For folks who have been following Crossover, issue 6 is supposed to be a big one, where the point and purpose of this series is laid out. It seems like, to me, they're building an independent creator crossover of some kind, while also murdering real life comics creators, which is always an interesting little piece of what they're doing here. But as such, they got some more covers for you to explore. The issues where big things happen, they tend to have a little bit extra to them. Issue 3 had the Spawn cover. Issue 4 had the Mad Men cover. Issue 5 did not have bonus covers, really. But issue 6 does. You got yourself a Savage Dragon. Is he going to show up? I don't know. We'll have to read it. And also a Betterman cover. That person's been doing the tattoo variants on King in Black and worked on a Tomahawk with Donna Kate. So I wouldn't be surprised if that character shows up in Crossover as well. Deaded Class is back for those of you who loved the show, want more. There's 8 or 9 volumes out right now, and the new story arc is kicking off. So if you missed the show and you want to know what happens next, got you covered. Department of Truth is starting its 2nd story arc. We love that book, as evidenced by us having got ourselves an exclusive cover of the first trade paperback, and it's looking real good on our shelf over there because we bought one. Of course we did. Why wouldn't we buy an awesome graphic novel that has our logo on it? Makes us happy on the insides. Geiger is getting a 2nd printing before the first one drops. We're going to have to set numbers for this. So in these situations, we don't order a whole lot. We don't know what we're going to sell for number 1. So keep that in mind. That is a lot of comic stores' mindsets. They don't like sending out numbers willy-nilly. So for those of you who are into such things, it means a smaller print run for the issue. For those who are wondering what Geiger is about, it's got yourself some Jeff Jones. It got yourself some Gary Frank, the team behind Doomsday Clock, and the Batman Earth 1 graphic novels. Who are the scavengers of a dying Earth? Geiger is set in the years since a nuclear war ravaged the planet. Desperate outlaws battle for survival in a world of radioactive chaos. Out past the poisoned wasteland lives a man even the night crawlers and Oregon people fear. His name is Joe Blow. Others call him the Meltdown Man, but his name is Geiger. So we've got that and an incentive on that we probably won't get to unless some folks are really into ordering some second prints. Helm Greycastle, I'm very excited about this one. It is a new Latinx fantasy by Henry Barajas, author of the critically acclaimed La Voz de Mayo, Tatarambo. The last Dragon Prince has been abducted, kept prisoner by an unknown threat, Aztec Mexica. Helm Greycastle and his outsider comrades are here to save the prince, but are recruited by a resistance plotting to overthrow Montezuma. Will Greycastle help the people of Mexica or rescue the Dragon Prince and flee? Bonus happening in here for all of you Dungeons and Dragons fans. Helm Greycastle #1 includes a Latinx one-shot RPG 5th edition compatible written by Tristan J. Tarwater, who worked on Rolled and Told. Rolled and Told is a very beloved comics 5th edition style D&D adventure series that had come out recently from Lion Forge and Oni Press. We miss it dearly because it has some awesome adventures that are very intersectional. You can also choose different covers for Helm Greycastle. Shadecraft is getting a second printing. We don't have a cover for that yet, but we do have the #2 issue. For those of you who liked the first one, let us know if you want more. We can get you set up with that. If you missed the first printing, we still have some in store. I don't know how long they will last. So a second print might be a good idea as well. Stray Dogs #2 also has a second printing because people can't get enough of this series. We still have 1s and 2s. It is absolutely incredible. Kind of a thriller mystery series starring doggos, good doggos, in a brilliant animated style that makes things a lot creepier than need be. Summoner's War Legacy #1. This is based off of a mobile game written by Justin Jordan, art from Lucia Claretta. Skybound dives into the wondrous world of Summoner's War, the popular mobile game where magical monsters are summoned in a never-ending battle of good versus evil. Rai knows there's only one way out of her nothing town, to become a summoner. But when she's recruited by Abus Dane as an apprentice, she embarks on the adventure of a lifetime and is thrust into a war for the fate of the world. I have not played Summoner's Wars. But I know a lot of folks who really enjoy it. And so I also see these as bridge projects. So if you are the type of folk looking to get some of your pals, your family into comics, and they're really into this, this might be a nice bridge. A lot of people forget that just because it's a tie-in, there's a connotation to it or whatnot. But never forget that these can be great bridges to get people into a larger world of stories that you know they'll enjoy, who might not otherwise try them. Dark Horse is finally putting out the 4th volume of Bandit. Bandit is a wonderful all-ages series about a young French thief. The stories are whimsical, they're hilarious, and they have a lot of tension to them. Some of my favorite comics that I've read. Austin says, if you still have a Women's History Month silk cover, I'd really like it. I will make a note of that and message Danica to see what we've got. Cool. All right. Just basically take a picture of what's happening. What else do we got here? Oh no, what did I do with that window? I lost it. Oh, I lost it. Yeah. Oh, there we are. Also on this for Dark Horse, some really cool bonus stuff. You got some Cyberpunk 2077 water bottles, puzzles, and a new series that actually the Cyberpunk 2077 series of comics went over extremely well with folks. Very excited to see those going out the door. And where are we here? Hellboy face mask and Hellboy Universe Essentials volume is basically a nice primer for somebody who wants to get into Hellboy but doesn't know where to start. There's another volume of Plants vs. Zombies coming out, a hugely popular comic series based off of the mobile game. Heart in a Box, 2nd edition. I love this book from Kelly Thompson and Meredith McLaren. You might know Kelly Thompson from all of her freaking Marvel work right now. Very, very prolific. When the man with no name breaks Emma's heart, she wants to die, but you never die from these things. You just want to. In a moment of weakness, she wishes her broken heart away, and a mysterious stranger, who may or may not be totally evil, obliges. But emptiness is worse than grief, and Emma sets out to collect the 7 pieces of her heart spread across the country. A journey that forces her to face her own history and the cost of recapturing it, and leads inevitably to confrontation with the man with no name himself. And it puts Heart in a Box into a little bit of a larger size for folks to read because it was a graphic novel size before. I think it might be a mistake to do it a bit larger. I love that we get to see the art at a bigger style, but this is a really great YA style story. That'll be really good for some folks to read. We also have The Mask face mask. You might know The Mask from The Mask. The movie, the cartoon, the comic book. Well, you can put his face on your face, just like Stanley Ipkiss did, and all of those things. Dark Horse is really pushing out all of these graphics this week. Very few single issues, a lot of graphics like Raptor from Dave McKean. You might know him as the cover artist of all of Sandman, all versions of it. A visual tour de force graphic novel from the artist and writer Dave McKean. The Raptor, Sokol, flickers between two worlds, a feudal fantastic landscape where he must hunt prey to survive, and Wales in the late 1800s, where a writer of supernatural tales mourns the passing of his young wife. He exists between two states, the human and the hawk. He lives in the twilight between the truth and lies, life and death, reality and imagination. It is his first creator-owned character. So that's actually pretty big. A lot of the Dave McKean books that have come out are basically art books, and this is a book unto itself. So I'm very excited to see what that ends up looking like. There's a regular edition of that and a limited edition hardcover. Those go out of print extremely fast. If you really like Dave McKean art, you have to get on that ASAP because they'll set that print run and that'll be it. We've got Shadows by Zabos and Hippolyte. I'm not going to get that right. People are going to make fun of me. So I'm just going to leave that. Y'all can see this. So you got this. To apply for asylum, refugee 214 must tell his story. With him in the room are a man from his new country and the shadows of 4 loved ones who did not survive the journey. 214 reveals how he and his younger sister fled their homes and set off towards the border, how they met and suffered with their friends and lost them, and how the plight of the refugee is an experience that erases differences between individuals, even as it threatens to erase the individuals themselves. The only one left to tell the tale, 214 swallows his fears and relates what he and the shadows saw and did in hope that his life and the lives of the others won't have been in vain. These creators present an intimate and heartrending look at one fictional refugee's story while encompassing the larger plight of displaced people. That's definitely something that we're going to be carrying in store. It might be part of what we're calling Variant Edition's Resistance Curriculum, where we'll be building our own curriculum for Alberta and everywhere on different things that folks really should get an education in. One is a refugee experience. Fictionalized or not, empathy is huge, and we all need to learn and get those in our bones. Some of the other stuff that we're going to include in that are these books on how to recognize propaganda, how to parse through social media, like all this kind of stuff. Things that really should be in the curriculum these days, how to basically discern information on the internet. Because it's not like the days when, there was a thing in the newspaper and it was vetted in some way. There's always some kind of editorial bias at play, but at least the information was vetted. And nowadays there isn't a lot of fact checkers at the newspapers themselves, and online it's just everywhere. So education to learn, how to discern information. That's going to be part of Variant Edition's Resistance Curriculum, which we will get up hopefully sooner rather than later. Stone Star Volume 1 is the collection of one of the Comicsology series. It is by good old Canadian boys Jim Sub and Max Dunbar. The nomadic space station called Stone Star brings gladiatorial entertainment to the ports across the galaxy. Inside this gargantuan vessel of tournaments and temptations, foragers and fighters struggle to survive. A young thief named Dial discovers a dark secret in the depths of Stone Star and has to decide where his destiny lies, staying hidden in the shadows or standing tall in the searing spotlight of the arena. Either way, his life and the cosmos will never be the same. These are always really cool, and more often than not, we order enough of them, they send us signed book plates for everything in this line. And so that might be a thing, but we'll probably tell you about that when we know. Sorry. We also have an Umbrella Academy face mask that can be bought, and a nice metal water bottle for those of you like me who are huge fans of the Umbrella Academy. Sorry, one sec. No one wants to hear that. Get that bubble out. Get that bubble out. Untold horror. Horror. You don't have an image for this. You doinks. Insightful interviews with horror legends George Romero, John Landis, Joe Dante, Brian Yuzna, and more by former editor-in-chief of Rue Morgue, Dave Alexander, about the scariest horror movies ever made. Take a behind-the-scenes look into development hell to find the most frightening horror movies that never were. From unmade Reanimator sequels to alternative takes on legendary franchises like Frankenstein and Dracula, features art, scripts, and other production material from unmade films that still might make you scream, with insights from dozens of directors, screenwriters, and producers with decades of experience. A behind-the-scenes look into the development hell of the most frightening horror movies ever made. I can already think of 3 or 4 people that I want to sell this to, and so I will be contacting them and seeing if they are interested in such a book. It feels like a treasure trove for folks who are into a lot of horror elements. Austin, I believe, is referring to the Variant Edition Resistance Curriculum. Yeah, any suggestions that you have, definitely. And Simone says, it's on my list. That's my jam, which is why I love the Stray Dog covers. Heck yeah, about that most recent one that we're talking about. It seems super awesome. I'm very excited about it, honestly. I'm going to see if I can get these comments where I needs them so that I can see them when I'm going through all the rest of this. IDW has mainly some continuations, but it also has the second My Little Pony Transformers crossover series, which is just big, goofy fun. I believe the first story in the series starts off with just like someone complaining that they're not taking these properties seriously enough, and the story itself just being like, calm down, y'all, calm the heck down. Sonic the Hedgehog also has a graphic novel out specifically about the bad guys in the series. That was a really fun miniseries to do. And the second volume of Sophie Campbell's amazing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles run is out with the new female turtle character running around and being rad as heck. Go skip this DC stuff because we got other places to find that good DC information. Alien #1 is getting a second printing, cover by Salvador LaRocca. Beta Ray Bill continues. That book sold extremely well for us. I think Beta Ray Bill might end up with numbers that damn near match what Thor is selling for us, which is really freaking cool. Charles Soule's Daredevil is going to be collected into one giant omnibus. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this because a lot of Daredevil's been collected in omnibus, and this was apparently going to be a gap in their collection. Well, no more, my friends, no more. The Charles Soule run, I felt like started a little slow, but once it got cooking, holy heck, is that a good series about law and being a vigilante. Matt Murdock taking on the role of a district prosecutor, and it helps that Charles Soule is/was a practicing lawyer, so he kind of knows what he's talking about when he's exploring those issues. Falcon Winter Soldier are getting a collected edition of their recent mini-series. Folks who are enjoying the TV show will want to check this out because it has a lot of similarities, basically. Shocking, right? From Derek Landry and Federico Vicentini. A Tale of Two Caps, an office of dead government agents, a gifted new killer, two ex-Captain Americas. When a dramatic attempt on the life of Bucky Barnes reunites him with Sam Wilson, the old friends are plunged headlong into a race to uncover the new leader of Hydra before a mass casualty event announces the terror group's resurgence to the world. The clock is ticking, but who is the Natural, and how did he beat Sam and Bucky so easily? It's a bullet-riddled, window-smashing, table-breaking brawl for all, and the Hydra Supreme is about to ascend. I believe, actually, this might be a reprint, because it says January 27th. So chances are they ran out of stock and need to do more stock. How could you run out of stock of Falcon and Winter Soldier during this time when people are looking for Falcon and Winter Soldier product? Well, Marvel finds a way. Throw those scamps. Yeah. We hooked up with an outfit called Chill Hop, who lets you use their streaming stuff for free if you give them a little bit of your information. And it just it gets the vibes going, you know? I really like it. And nice seeing you around here, Ben. What else? We got another Fantastic Four omnibus is coming out. I know a lot of people who've been waiting for this because Marvel's been continuing to do more Fantastic Four stuff. This wraps up the original Stan Lee and Jack Kirby run on Fantastic Four and goes a little past that, so that's very cool. Very exciting to see Loki's new series, or not a new series, one of Loki's better series from the recent past, get a collection. Just a little bit ahead of his new Disney Plus show. This series features Teen Loki, switching between some genders and going about his chaos business. As Asgardia's one-man secret service, Loki is ready to lie, cheat, and steal his way through the most treacherous missions the Allmother can throw at him. Starting with a heart-stopping heist at Avengers Tower, Loki takes on Lorelei in Monte Carlo's casinos, heads to the ancient past on a quest for a magical sword, and puts together a crew to crack the deepest dungeons of Asgardia itself. Plus, Axis pits him against the brutish Thor, god of evil. But who is King Loki? Yeah, continuity is wild, folks. Just know it's an amazing collection of stories starring Loki, being trying to be good, but always being Loki. A really good thing to have right before the Loki TV series happens. Miles Morales 25 is essentially a new number one. It is Miles Morales' very own clone saga. We finally see the full extent of what the Assessor did when he kidnapped Miles back in issue 7. Now, having snuck a peek of this and having not really read a lot of Miles since the beginning of this series, I check in every now and then. You don't need to know what the Assessor did. All you need to know is there's a big clone war happening, and it's going to be bonkers. So Saladin Ahmed and Cody Ziegler, Carmen Nunez, Carnero, and Daniel Acuna bring in some wildness to the life of Miles Morales, getting him mired in that wild muck that is the Clone Saga. I've got 4 omnibuses downstairs that collect all of the Clone Saga and all of the Ben Reilly Spider-Man comics, because that was my childhood. It lives in my heart. Those comics, for the most part, are not good, but they're great for me. What else we got? They're continuing to collect the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur in the nice graphic novel size. I highly recommend anybody with youths in their lives looking to get into the Marvel Universe. These wildly affordable graphic novels. Look at that. Issues 25 to 36 for $13 American. That is bonkers, folks. You're getting a good deal with those. And you're introducing some folks to the wildness of the Marvel Universe. Spider-Man by Todd McFarlane is getting a big old collection. I know a lot of people who are looking to grab this black suit cover. It is a direct market only, so you won't be able to get that from Amazon. You can only get that from a comic store. Now, in experience, if you want an omnibus like this, a direct market variant, Marvel does set their print run very, very tight to order. So that direct market will go fast. So if you want something like that, you let us know. You let us know right away, or else you're going to miss out. And a lot of people have from ordering a little bit afterwards. Spider-Man Curse of the Man-Thing #1 continues the Man-Thing story that is started in this past week's Avengers Curse of the Man-Thing book. It's going through a few different titles, but it is mainly a Man-Thing story. So keep in mind that this is essentially a #2, but if you like these characters, I'm pretty sure you'll get a lot out of what's happening. Squadron Supreme versus Avengers. This goes through the Squadron Supreme's first appearances when they would always fight the Avengers. Squadron Supreme is Marvel's basically Justice League pastiche characters. I know Danica, having seen an upcoming cover, was just like, oh, this character looks like such a ripoff of Wonder Woman. And I was like, that is because it absolutely is. And she did a bit of a Wikipedia dive and was like, oh boy, so I guess I know that exists now. Which was really fun. What else we got, girl? I get loud sometimes. They're doing a reprint of the first volume of Star Wars Darth Vader by Greg Pak. While that has gone out of print even before volume 2 has come in, but Marvel, you do your print runs, I guess. Yeah, ding dongs. Star Wars Empire 4th anniversary edition, or 4th. It's been 4 years since Empire Strikes Back came out, because time is a construct. And we're all just living in the freaking wild wilderness of the slipstream. I don't know. You've never seen Empire quite like this. To celebrate the 40th anniversary of one of the all-time great cinematic sequels, Marvel asked enthusiastic artist Chris Sprouse to retell The Empire Strikes Back in a stunning series of variant covers, month by month, across multiple Star Wars series. The film's unforgettable moments played out through Sprouse's exquisite artwork. And now the whole story, from the resurgent Empire targeting the Rebel Alliance's icy base on Hoth, and every momentous event that follows, is collected in a single celebratory issue. Bounty hunters target Han Solo. Han Solo. I actually like that a lot. It's going to annoy somebody at some point. Han Solo. Luke Skywalker seeks out Jedi Master Yoda. Feelings run high between Han and Leia. And as the battle begins for Skywalker's soul, will his fear lead to anger, hate, and the dark side? Yeah. Luke ruins everything, always. The plot of all of Star Wars doesn't happen if it's not for Luke being a dink. It's true. Picture me as that meme of that dude sitting at the desk and just being like, Luke Skywalker was a dink. Prove me wrong. You can't, because that guy was a dink. Austin, I lost this from forever ago that you commented. Or 10 minutes, you know. Beta Ray Bill is surprisingly good. It was so good. Danny Warren Johnson, one of the best creators in comics. Full stop. Fun fact, buried deep within the bowels of this Final Order cut-off video, there's only a select few of you strong enough and brave enough to have gotten this far in getting this sneaky peeky information that not a whole lot of people have. Apparently, Danny Warren Johnson, in DC's original plans for what essentially would be happening now, before Dan DiDio got real fired, real good, was going to take on the Jonathan Kent Superman book as a writer, and he was going to draw every 4 issues or so. That would have been really great, because he is really good at comics, you guys. Just super freaking ridiculously good at comics. All right. The Marvels, long delayed. You'll see from this solicitation that it was supposed to come out. It was solicited in March of last year. For May of last year, stuff happened. All new ongoing series, Kurt Busiek is back with the biggest, wildest, most sprawling series ever to hit the Marvel Universe, telling stories that span the decades and range from cosmic adventure to intense human drama, from the street level to the cosmic, starring literally anyone from Marvel's very first heroes to the superstars of tomorrow. This first issue includes an invasion from orbit, a picnic in Prospect Park, superhero sightseeing in Manhattan, the All-Winners Squad in 1947, Reed Richards during his time in military intelligence, cosmic beings beyond space and time, and That's Only for Starters, featuring Captain America, Spider-Man, The Punisher, The Human Torch, Storm, The Black Cat, the Golden Age Vision, Arrow, Iron Man, and Thor, and introducing 2 brand new characters, all beautifully drawn by Yildiray Cinar, in the opening act of a thriller that'll take us across the Marvel Universe and beyond. Plus, who or what is Kashum? It all starts here, and it goes everywhere. I have the utmost trust in Kurt Busiek, co-creator of Astro City, co-creator of Marvel's the wonderful ground take on all of the happenings in the Marvel Universe as they happened through the eyes of a reporter, and curator of the Marvel's Snapshot line, which has featured some of my absolute favorite superhero stories of the past decade. Full on. They're outstanding stories, again, sort of on a more personal ground level of people looking at superheroes and what they've meant to them. in different ways. Super outstanding run. If he ever wants to, he could be an amazing editor, and I would love to see what he would come up with. Austin says, sign me up for the Marvels, please. We will do that. Making some notes. Cool. I believe that's going to be it for Marvel. The Wolverine Omnibus is getting yet another printing because it keeps selling out, my friends. It's almost as though people love themselves some Wolverine. X-Men Legends #3 starts a new 2-story arc that revisits the original X-Factor era with Louise Simonson and Walt Simonson, telling an all-new in-continuity story that takes place before X-Factor 43. I know a lot of people who love this series because they're getting that hit of nostalgia. And you're going to get that hit of nostalgia, but in a different place. Getting it right from the X-Factor. Dynamite, y'all going to do what you're going to do. Although the Rainbow Bright story is absolutely fantastic, and they are putting it into graphic novel size. Basically, a modern reimagining of Rainbow Bright. Super outstanding. For just $10 American, yeah, you know what? Dynamite, you did good. You did a good right there. I'm always perplexed as to why you pick the project you pick. Like when you're just like, hey, all ages is the way of the future, and we're going to kick off this line with Mighty Mouse. Y'all are wild. Your precious little snow angels and this Rainbow Bright series from Princeless co-creator Jeremy Whitley and Brittany Williams is just a freaking outstanding bit of business. Yep, is good stuff. Berserker's getting another foil printing. A lot of these have been allocated, so you can ask for it. First come, first serve, and we'll see what we can get for you. This one features Keanu Reeves holding some dude's spine, like one does. Sometimes you just gotta rip out a dude's spine because he looks at you sideways. Buffy the Vampire series is hitting issue 25, which is the start of a new story arc. The biggest Buffy story of the century starts here. The truth about Buffy, the Scooby Gang, and their very existence is revealed in this jaw-dropping anniversary issue. But what is their connection to? And how does it connect to? Every answer only leads to more questions and straight to the biggest bad you never saw coming. This series of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, as reimagined by Jordie Bellaire and more recently Jeremy Lambert, has been absolutely outstanding. It basically takes the old trope, starts it right back from the right back from the beginning. It has the benefit of hindsight, so introduces some characters earlier, has some characters living more comfortably in their skin earlier, and going forward from there. So using the old mythos in just absolutely astounding new ways. If you're a Buffy fan and you want to revisit the series but are feeling a little icky about it in hindsight, what we know about Joss Whedon these days, it's got his name on it because it contractually has to. It is something entirely different, well-lived, and well changed from the origins, but still with quite a bit of a different flavor to it. There's also a Magic the Gathering second print coming out. Folks will want to get ordering on that right away because issue 1 of this also hasn't come out. So the second printing will be in short supply if you do like collecting all kinds of covers and whatnot. American Cult, a graphic novel history of religious cults in America. From Silver Sprocket. They are a good independent company that I really trust. For centuries, Americans in search of divine truth have turned to unconventional prophets for the answers. In American Cult, over 20 cartoonists explore the history of religious cults in this country from the colonial era to today, looking beyond the scandalous headlines to find the human stories within. There's the second issue of Destiny New York, which was Danica's pick of the week for good reason. It is an outstanding series. After meeting the mysterious Lilith, former prophecy girl, Logan McBride's life is thrown into turmoil when her ex and now rising MMA star and former prophecy girl herself, Bailey, comes back into town. Also, Gia's hanging out with Lilith, you know, the woman who she's destined to kill. Basically, everything's going quite well. A wonderful series. Has magic, mysticism, and very, very queer, which is kind of like what we like to see in our comics. We also have Shadow Man #1 finally popping out. It was delayed a little bit here, but it's got Cullen Bunn and John Davies Hunt, an absolutely incredible artist who deserves a lot more credit for a lot of things. Comes a shocking supernatural odyssey. John Boniface is Shadow Man, a powerful protector who keeps humanity safe from the demons that claw at the fabric of our reality. The forces of darkness are awakening and they are hungry for life. Will Shadow Man be able to save us all, or will the darkness devour the world as we know it? A nice horror take in the Valiant universe. You don't need to know anything about Shadow Man to hop in on that one, which is always nice. Sirens of the North Sea. Fierce Vikings and mystical sirens face each other in never-ending battle to claim the most significant natural resources the world has to offer, the sea itself. For generations, Viking clans have faced siren tribes in battles waged on land and sea battles that pit brute strength against sorcery and cunning versus charm. Their war sparked by the great Leviathan, Jorgmund, I did that wrong, has torn apart the very world they fight over while filling graveyards that span farther than the eye can see. If there is any hope of bringing even the whisper of peace, it lies among those. It lies among. Yeah, I don't think this makes sense, but it might. It lies those among them who feel torn between both worlds. Anyways, the art's gonna look like it does on that cover there, all throughout the insides. Very excited for that one. I think that might be all we're talking about today. There's a new Witchblood cover. Looking pretty freaking cool. And Witchblood 2 coming up with another tarot card cover. That is very exciting. Oh yeah, and Fantagraphics is finally on F.O.C's. It got Zig Zag one-shot. This one-shot glossy blast of sci-fi psychedelia could only come from the mind of British artist Will Sweeney, who has done Kermer's Ergot, just a wild independent comics anthology series. Zig Zag depicts the evolution of the Mind's Eye Trooper, a mechanical secret agent piloted by an imp spawned from an extraterrestrial fungus. From embryonic zombie to powerful hero, the Trooper must infiltrate an alternate dimension in which a brutal tyrant has terrorized the inhabitants and dispelled psychoactive justice. The serrated path of the Trooper has many twists and turns, but eventually comes full circle. It's Fantagraphics, so it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be weird. Kind of funny, I'm mentioning a Fantagraphics thing, and my Facebook notifies me that I got a message from one of the people in charge of Fantagraphics, so that's fun. That looks like all we're going to talk about. For Diamond, we also have the DC previews, which is going to have a new Aquaman graphic novel that contains stories that were collected in the Walmart 100-page giants that were coming out. So if you were looking for those stories, you wanted some good stuff from a lot of really good creators. You got some Jeff Johns, you got some Marv Wolfman, you got Tom Taylor, you got Steve Orlando. I believe you got Ram V. No, it says V Ken Marion, which boo-boo. Anyways, Steve Orlando writes some Aquaman. I mean, it's going to be some good, sexy Aquaman. Batman Dam's finally getting a trade paperback collection. It is the first trade paperback collection from Black Label line proper. This is the infamous Batwang comic. You will not see Batman's wang in this one, but you will get a very interesting story with art that looks like this all the way through it. I know we talked briefly about it earlier when we were talking about the second print of Geiger, but this is the creative team, Jeff Johns, Gary Frank. They've got the third and final volume of the Batman Earth 1 series. It's basically some early days Batman stuff, changing the mythos and updating it for the modern times. The DC Comics Generations, the 2 one-shots that went through and really spanned, had a team that spanned the generations of the DC Universe, is collected here for the first time. The DC Festival of Heroes, the Asian Superhero Celebration, is a one-shot that features all Asian creators, all Asian characters. And lets you kind of dig into the expansive universe that is the DC Universe and all the characters that are within that you might not even know about. DC is actually surprisingly more diverse than people give them credit for, probably because not a lot of them actually star in their own series. Wow, dry mouth. Deceased Hope at World's End collects the digital World's End series that happened. So this is the first time in print. You'll be getting it in this hardcover. Very excited. Deceased is basically a world where the anti-life equation did spread, and some wild bad things ended up happening, folks. But there's such a heart to this. Tom Taylor always instills a lot of heart with his works. And I think other than that, that's all we got. Oh no, wait. We got Stargirl Spring Break Special by Jeff Johns and Todd Knock. Bringing back Stargirl. Jeff Johns is actually running the Stargirl TV show, and so he's writing this character here. It is based loosely on a sister he once had who tragically passed away fairly young, named Courtney. So this character's coming back. Courtney Whitmore's spring break plans aren't like your average high schoolers. Instead of hanging out with friends, Google. Instead of hanging out with friends, she's heading out on an adventure with her stepfather, Pat Dugan, aka Stripe, and teaming up with his former team, the Seven Soldiers of Victory. The soldiers are forced to reunite again to unearth the secret 8th Soldier of Victory. But what other secrets lie buried? And what does this mean for Courtney's future as Stargirl? Questions. And yeah, there's another collected edition of the Tales from the DC Dark Multiverse that features a lot of those recent stories about how things could be darker for a lot of DC stories. And the Sweet Tooth Compendium has all of Sweet Tooth in one volume. So that's pretty cool. As you might have been hearing, I don't know if you could hear some dings. I've been getting some messages. I'm going to end up taking care of those right away here. And adding some things to people's files. Thank you all for watching this week's show. And just remember that we've got all of the Diamond F.O.C. stuff due by Sunday afternoon. The DC stuff you have until Thursday evening to get me those numbers. Honkies. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to take care of some stuffs. I'm going to do some dishes. I might take a wee nap. I'm going to go to the store, pick up young Miss Danica, drive her home, cook her a meal, because she deserves a good meal. All right. Thank you all for watching, and we will talk again soon.